he had this pervasive sense of fairness, and he would actually run in the direction of unfairness almost always. If he could get to it, he would go there and do what he could to right that ship. So briefly speaking, you hit that nail quite squarely.
I know he had challenges actually in getting the book published.
Oh yeah, we had a great, I was with him on the road during that process, and we had a great many challenges while in Atlanta and with Publisher Row. Absolutely. I just wanted to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. No, thanks, sir. I appreciate you. Any other comments? Anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Could you comment on this book, Going to Meet the Man?
That was actually, that's one I have never read, so I have to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with that and some of his other works. I don't know if anybody else is familiar in the group with that book specifically, but I can't speak. Have you read it yourself?
I've read it.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I thought it was, this is my first exposure to, what his life was really about, and I thought it was, as something you touched on earlier, too, the fact that he could so eloquently and clearly articulate his feelings, his anger, the Dick Cavett clip. A lot of times, you know, we're mad because this or that, but to be able to make it so plain, I thought that was beautiful, and I think it's something that, you know, not only I'll try and implement, but I wish there were more people, you know, here in the 18 to 30 range. I feel it's our burden to keep going with not just civil rights issues, but just, you know, everything. And I think that that's an issue that we struggle with, not being able to articulate what we're mad about, and just, you know, kind of talking instead of being able to make it, you know, bullet points.
We generate more heat than we do light. I think it's a good way of putting it. Any other questions? Yes. Yes.
I just want to thank you for all of your comments and say thank you to the gentleman here. I love James Baldwin. I even have his face on my light switch in my office. But I just want to add one little thing. My comment on If Beale Street Could Talk. Yes, it is about a lot of frustration after the civil rights movement, but I also think it's one of the most beautiful love stories. It's such a great story in the voice of this young girl named Tish and her beloved named Bobby. So I wouldn't want anybody to not read it because they think it's just about anger. There's some good love in there. Good love.
And I wouldn't want anybody to assume any of his works are like that specifically. I think that at the core of all of his work, both fiction and nonfiction, he's really trying to get us to come back to a space of love and acceptance and tolerance. He doesn't ignore the realities of the world, but he wants us to understand that there is a path out of this. So I appreciate that correction. Any other comments anybody else would have? Yes, sir.
Hi, everyone. His quote that you started off with in terms of love and it being something that the price of it one isn't willing to pay, I think it's profound. So I think you've diluted what love is like. No, I love you and all these different terms, but the true power of love is not found in the feelings, but in the actions that one undergoes, or the price that one, or what one sacrifices for attaining that. So when he talks about love being a sense of growth and developing, kind of as a reminder of this sense of always trying to become better, and that often requires you giving up part of you to find more who you actually are.
Any other comments? Any questions? Yes, ma'am, in the back.
Hi, everybody. The comment I have is, I guess, a bit of a reflection tool, not just for myself, but it's kind of the main theme that I really came to grips with in watching the film, which is that initially Baldwin was really strong and adamant in his view about loving individuals and that kind of being an escape tool from the anger that is of the world. But just as with Martin Luther King, who was his friend as well, it seems that they both reached this point where they felt disillusioned with their ideas of loving. As he said in the video, love can't really exist in like an empty room. Like you can be as loving as you want to, but that love has to exist in a society that is not condemnatory towards a certain individual or certain groups of people. So I think it's interesting that with a lot of these Black intellectuals and Black progressives, we see this moment where they reach this sort of like an impasse where you don't really know which direction to take it anymore, where you want to be loving and you want to be open and you want to reciprocate what you feel, the light you feel, but there's also this violence, this anger, this hatred in the world that exists that you can't reprimand just with love.
Well, I don't want to speak for Baldwin, but I will speak for, at least for myself, and in that context. And I think that when you're in your 20s and you have certain ideals, and the beauty of being in your 20s and idealistic is that you don't have enough life experience to dissuade you from your point of view. You can feel very powerful in the strength of your ideas, and you can believe very heartily that you can affect a legitimate change in your lifetime. And I think sometimes after a course of 20 or 30 or 40 years, when things are still not the way you had envisioned them to be in your ideal world, and you're still struggling with them, and you're still fighting hard, you question how much longer you have to go before the battle is over. And I think that what problems we have, in some cases, certainly intellectuals specifically find, is that they don't always take opportunities to celebrate the achievements that they do have that allows them to re-energize themselves to continue to move forward. And the other element I would say is that we don't always take advantage of the wealth of our experience to share it with the younger generation, to inspire them to take up the cause. That's probably where a lot of that sense of frustration comes from, I think.
I would just add, Harry, that I didn't perceive his retreat to Europe as a sign of disillusionment, but a sign of exhaustion and maybe brokenheartedness. And I think you mentioned that in many ways he was a prophet, and prophets often project our human capacity way into the future, beyond what we are capable of in the moment. And I think that was true of Baldwin. And I think that at a certain point he realized it's not going to happen yet, right? I see that it will happen as humans evolve that capacity, but it's not happening here in this country now, and I have some other things I need to do. So I wouldn't encourage anyone to see his retreat as a sign of his disillusionment.
I agree.
I don't think there was a disbelief at the end of his life at all.